Welcome back to the National Tally Room, where tonight dreams have been realised and hopes dashed. And we're now joined by Chas Licciardello, who's been out on the campaign trail.
Thanks, Craig. I've been out and about meeting a lot of politicians, and I've got to say, I never realised just how much protocol there is when shaking hands with a Polly. So I've compiled this list of do's and don'ts for when you bump into your favourite candidate.
That was well done.
See, a handshake is entirely appropriate.
I've been supporting you for a real long time.
But at the 40-second mark, this is probably becoming a little inappropriate. And after a minute, you should definitely let go before security restrains you. See, that's my mistake right there.
So let go before you get arrested.
In most cases, yes, but it gets a lot more complicated than that, Craig. For example, now that's fine. But this is probably a little over the line.
So no detachable body parts.
The pollies tend to frown upon them, yeah, especially when they're bloody.
But Chas, there's much more to greeting politicians than just handshakes.
Oh, absolutely, Craig. Take this scenario.
Oh, no, Chaz, I'm so
Once again, a handshake's fine, but a kiss is highly questionable. Unless, of course, they're well-versed in ethnic affairs. But watch out, because one thing can lead to another.
Inappropriate?
Precisely.
Well, in summary, Chas.
OK. That's inappropriate. So's that. Now, that's certainly a no-no. And this one, well, I don't know about this. I'm leaning towards inappropriate.
Thanks, Chas. We now cross live to the Wentworth Hotel in Sydney, where the Liberal Party traditionally gathers on election night. Charles Firth, any news of when Howard will be making a statement?
No sign of the PM as yet. I did speak to a doorman and he said that there was no indication that the PM would even turn up tonight.
Oh dear, well that's very telling, isn't it? It's now looking almost certain that we won't get a result tonight. In fact, it may be a couple of weeks before we know who's going to form government.
Well, if the Liberals are going to win, they're certainly going to need to rely on the Nationals. But unfortunately for their leader, John Anderson, few people seem to know who he is or what he looks like. I went up to Tweed Heads for the National Party launch and had a very hard time finding him. You seen John Anderson around today?
Who's John Anderson?
He's Deputy Prime Minister.
Of the country?
Yeah, of Australia. You don't know what he looks like?
No idea, mate. No idea at all.
What does he look like? He's tall?
Wears a suit.
Wears a suit?
Pretty nondescript.
Nondescript, all right. Yeah, I was just wondering if you could put out a call for John Anderson.
John Anderson in the store?
It's fairly ugly.
He's fairly ugly.
Yeah.
He's bald with fucking glasses.
Bald with glasses?
Bald with glasses, mate.
Tall, thin, grey,
Tall, thin.
confused.
Mr Anderson. Oh, Craig Rucastle from the Election Shows. How are you going, Mr Anderson? You're the Deputy Prime Minister, right?
Yeah.
What's it like being Deputy Prime Minister of this country?
Oh, I love it.
You love it, yeah? You think you'll win this election?
Oh, definitely, mate.
Take it away.
Oh, yeah. You know, all our policies are just right online. No one else even comes near them, you know?
Who is he again?
John Anderson.
No.
John Anderson! Is any of you John Anderson? It seemed no one knew what he looked like, so I decided to try the National Party launch.
John Anderson is unquestionably committed and dedicated and devoted.
No, what does he look like?
Oh, to look like?
Yeah, what does he look like? So he's popular with the ladies.
Popular with everyone, but apparently has a certain glamour and appeal that I don't naturally feel, but members of the opposite sex do.
John, you want to see him over there, you know, don't you?
Which one's John?
John Anderson.
It's not that guy.
No, that's not him.
No, I didn't think so.
No, look, that's some imposter we brought in.
Peter McGoran said that wasn't John Anderson.
No, that is John Anderson there.
John Anderson.
Oh, John Anderson, how do you do?
No, I'm not John Anderson. You're John Anderson. This is so confusing, isn't it? You guys should just get together and get it to right who's the leader and who's John Anderson. Because that's someone's gonna ask you someday. Excuse me, mate.
How are
You
you?
don't know what John Anderson looks like, do you? Do you know what John Anderson looks like? I've been looking for him. He's Deputy Prime Minister of the country, I think.
Yeah, that's me.
You're the third one I've met today. You sure?
I think I've been taken for a ride here.
You sure?
Are there three of us?
You don't quite fit the description I've been getting.
What was the description?
Well, you're tall, you're tallish. You're meant to have darker hair. You're a good-looking man, are you? Look, I reckon you haven't been needing me. All right, I'll tell you what. If you do see him, tell him Craig's looking for him, all right? Thanks anyway. Tell him Craig's looking for him.
Craig's looking for us.
All right. Yeah, all right.
The issues, education,
Liberal policy is to give more money to private schools because that's where their children are enrolled. The Labor policy is to give more money to public schools to help ease their guilt that they send their children to private schools too.
We're now joined by Charles Firth, who's here to talk about another pressing issue.
Thanks, Craig. I think it's fair to say that nowadays in most professions women are equally represented.
Yeah, I'd go along with that.
But in politics there's still a shameful imbalance. Women are outnumbered 3 to 1 in Parliament, and they have a lot to say about that. So I've compiled this special in-depth report. Women, they're everywhere. In fact, 51% of the population is, you guessed it, women. I spoke to an expert in statistics. If this lemon meringue were our population, how much of it would be women? But if this pie were our parliament, how much would be women? That's a pretty small serve. So what are we doing about it? Already we've seen some big changes. The chairman of a Senate committee is now called chairperson, plus our sports minister is a woman. So why aren't there more women in Parliament? I spoke to a woman.
The problem is part of the wider system of patriarchal structural apparatus of social relations.
Critics label this as simplistic. Others think there are no women in Parliament because men are better at politics. Yet our research suggests that a mediocre man can be easily matched by a mediocre woman. The sad thing is that the solution is so simple. Manners. It's time male MPs stood up for women's rights. Come on, fellas, give up your seats for the ladies. Maybe that way we can get more chicks in the big house.
Tell you, I'm pretty happy. She hasn't changed from day one. She's had that smile on her face from the first day that I met her.
Welcome back to Democracy's Big Night Out. It's time now to announce our second Mal Award for the campaign.
Yes, now the Mal, of course, is named after rugby league player turned momentary politician Mal Meninga, and each week we award it to a Polly who stuffs up on the campaign trail.
And this week's winner is the Minister for Sport and Tourism, Jackie Kelly, who ran an advertisement about her commitment to local issues.
Yes, there's more to be done, and given your support, John Howard's Liberal team of Jackie Kelly, Pat Farmer and Kerry Bartlett will continue to put our local interests first.
Yes, as you can see, she's out there discussing the issues with someone who looks like a local farmer. Only problem is that he isn't actually a farmer, but rather a Liberal Party staffer. His name is Ben Davies. He works as a researcher for Tony Abbott. In fact, he doesn't even live in Jackie Kelly's electorate of Lindsay, but rather miles away in the inner city of Sydney.
Well, Jackie Kelly's clearly very close to the people of her electorate, and that certainly makes her a very worthy winner. So I went out to give the Minister her Mal.
Jackie Kelly, a very special moment for you. This is the awarding of the Mal Award. You are this week's winner. Round of applause, everyone. Come on, yeah. Are you very proud?
Very proud.
You've got to know what this wonderful award is for.
I know what it's for.
What's it for?
No, I'm not telling.
This is for your wonderful, wonderful advertisements about putting local communities first.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Come on, no
Particularly given that you're obviously so close to the local community that the only farmer you could find is a staffer for Tony Abbott. But congratulations.
Pleasure. Thank you
well
very
done.
much.
Well done to all of you. This is really your award too. This is the local farmer. Good. How's the farm going?
The farm's
good. The farm's going well. Yeah. It is a reflection of how bad farmers are doing nowadays. I've got to work part-time in Tony Abbott's job just to get through. Keep up all your hard work with the crops.
You too, Tiger. Media stars.
Congratulations there to Jackie Kelly for taking out our second Mal.
It really is more prestigious than winning office, isn't it? And if you have any nominations for next week's Mal, please send them to us here at election.chaser@abc.net.au.
And the best suggestion could win this fabulous prize.
You'll never leave home now that you've got the complete Hansard. Hours of fascinating reading right at your own fingertips. It's hard to pick up, but even harder to put down.
So bring the house to your home. That's Hansard.
I was going back through 1932 just last night, and gee, I tell you what, some of those Joseph Lyons speeches really bear rereading.
Well, that's just about all we have time for here in the National Tally Room.
But before we do go, ABC guidelines, of course, require that our show be politically balanced. So, Julian, who have we been biased to tonight?
Yeah, we've given 17 more seconds to the Liberals.
Oh, well, there's a first for everything at the ABC, so we will just have to correct that, I'm afraid. So we got, Labor.
Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for King. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for Labour. Hallelujah, vote for
Once again, we're just waiting for the all clear from the ABC board.
Yeah, well, Michael Kroger wasn't so keen, but the rest say it's fine.
All right, well, join us again next week on the Election Chaser as we bring you all the results as they come to hand. We'll leave you tonight with more of that rare but satisfying vision of Bronwyn Bishop being accosted by a bumblebee. Good night.